This is Eric Mother from Mother.com. As we come to the close of the third trading week for September, market's just about to close. And there is your closing bell. Let's take a look at where the market is just about to close for the week. And again, this being an option expiration week, we saw the market move in the last 2 hours or so, a little bit to the downside. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 on the weekly chart to begin with. And we can see here as the market is settling out, just about the Dow closing for the day around 160 as the numbers are settling out, down about 0.6%. Not really too much if you think about it, but for the week, we can see that the S&P 500 is closing and ending the week here a little bit to the downside, about 0.5%. The Dow closing about a percentage point to the downside this past week, and the Nasdaq ending the week with about 0.72% at the end of the week. Now, go back to the S&P 500 on the weekly. We can see one of the things that is now facing us here is what does it mean now that the market has come to test the previous and the current all-time weekly closing high from the month of July. For the S&P 500, the breakout level we're watching was 3025.86, which is this weekly closing high right there. So over the last 2 weeks, we've seen the S&P 500 come to this price level, and we can see that so far this has turned into a rejection area over the last 2 weeks. So the more the market is unable to clear that level, the more that sends a signal that the market doesn't have that juice, that energy to clear that level. And if that's the case, then it does suggest that we are setting the stage for a pullback of some sorts, maybe even the beginning of a major move to the downside. And of course, what the bulls want to see is the market eventually moving above the 3025.86 price level. So since we're pretty much around that area, we can't write too much about this other than to understand that a breakout is what the bulls want to see, while a breakdown and a failure to break out, as we've seen over the last 2 weeks or so, is what the bears have been waiting for. Failed breakouts can be notorious for taking markets lower.